Welcome back to Live Life Forward. It's time to meet the woman behind the crusade to stop bullying on a national level. Not only is she shining a light on the epidemic, she's offering tangible solutions we can all implement. We've spent a lot of time talking, and we've seen everybody, and we've heard everybody, and I'm kind of curious. I've got a couple of questions. Why do you do what you do?
My interest and my passion for the topic of bullying comes from what my patients tell me. So every week when I'm in clinic and I'm hearing the stories of my patients and I'm seeing what impacts their health, bullying is something that comes up. And so that really drives my interest in engaging with some of the stakeholders we met in our adult panel and talking to the kids and doing research to try to solve some of the questions that are out there.
You see patients as a pediatrician and then you evaluate them for bullying. How does that work?
Well, it's pretty rare to have a patient come to clinic and have their main complaint be that they were bullied. But often what we see is patients come to us with concerns like abdominal pain, headaches, trouble sleeping, their depression's getting worse or their anxiety is getting worse. And what we're thinking about is what contributed to that. And in many cases, bullying was a contributor to that physical or mental health problem.
So do you deal with them on a physical level or a mental problem at that point?
Both. We deal with them on a wellness level of what are the things that are impacting their health.
When I was a kid, a lot of the time, bullying was kind of part of grow up and, pull your socks up and do everything. But I think that's changed now. I mean, is it different then? Has there been an advance as to how we deal with bullying today? I
think you're right. I think that for a long time bullying was considered kind of a rite of passage. But what we know now from some of the research studies is that bullying is an event that is associated with significant health issues and even brain changes in cases of chronic bullying.
What do you think it stems from?
I think that a lot of researchers have postulated that where bullying can come from is a combination of probably genetics and environment. So if you have genetics that maybe you're more aggressive and then you're in an environment that is permissive or nurturing of that aggressiveness, you might be someone who's more at risk for being involved. I think the more we all collaborate, the less bullying we'll see.
How easy is a collaboration between all those people that you talked about?
I think that's an advance that's a little more recent, because I think in the past what we saw is that there was a group of education researchers who were really skilled in this area, but most of their research was only known to themselves and they were only working with themselves. And then you'd have a group of psychologists and a group of pediatricians. But what we see now is that people are starting to break down some of those boundaries and collaborate with each other to understand what each of them has to offer.
Do you think the parents and the friends of kids have a lot to say in this issue?
Oh, definitely. I think the more that we can include them as stakeholders in thinking about the problem as well as the solution, the more likely we're going to come up with solutions that work.
How do you think you would actually deal with a kid that, okay, kid's been bullied, he's been bullied at school. What would you tell the kid and what would you tell the parent?
A lot of what we talk about in our clinic when we see kids who have been bullied is asking who else is involved and making sure that they've involved the people that are best able to help them. So we want to make sure that they've involved folks at school, they've involved their healthcare providers, they've involved their parents and the people in their family, because we know the more networked a child is, the better able they're going to be able to address bullying.
There's another issue, which is the trust between parent and child and friends to actually be able to open up to say, hey, listen, somebody's is doing something to me that I really don't want them to do. How do we deal with that problem?
I think you're absolutely right. And I think one of the things that gives me optimism is that research has shown if you can get a kid to interact with just one person about their experience with bullying, they're more likely to be resilient and to do better with that situation. So it just takes that one person that they interact with who's willing to listen and support them. And that could be a parent, a teacher, a friend's parent. It could be anybody, whether you're a Boy Scout leader or a piano teacher or a custodial staff in your school. Developing those strong relationships with kids and letting them know you're a safe person to talk to, that I think is something that each of us can do in our lives that will probably make a difference for a kid who's been bullied.
Thank you for hosting us here today. It's a fabulous organization, and you've given us some great tools to move forward and try and help the viewers see a little bit more about what the issues of bullying are, and hopefully we can come back and visit you again.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Megan. Thank you so much.